What's up, YouTubers? Thanks for joining me once again. Today have I got a treat for you. I'm in Haworth, and have you ever wondered what goes on behind me in that building? The Masonic Hall in Haworth. I am hoping to take a brief tour and talk to the organisations. Do remember to subscribe, like and share for further videos. Thanks for joining us, 𝐓𝐡𝐞.
Oh, you're welcome. It's going to be an interesting
Absolutely, yeah.
experience. And exciting as well.
Yeah. So this is the side entrance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably from Yorkshire West Riding, Masonic Hall. Okay, let's
Knock the door.
any grabs, anything, no? Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, thank you. Thanks very much.
How you doing, John?
Oh, very well, sir, very well. Well, you're very welcome, and we hope we can show you something about Freemasonry today.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Let's come through.
Lead the way.
This is one of the early rooms, and then we have a dining room upstairs.
Nice and warm in here.
This is where you prepare yourself to enter the supposed secret world of Freemasonry. Do come through.
Definitely not a secret, we're inside now. Absolutely gorgeous.
This is what we call the temple. It's just a name, but it's where we do our ceremonies. Everything about Freemasonry is based on ceremonies. It's an allegory, it's an illustration of life and where we learn lessons about life. All the stages of being a Mason about learning about yourself, about being what's good and what's better. And that's the whole point of Freemasonry. There is no other point in that.
Right. Okay, so who can talk? Obviously, we've come here to show people what Freemasonry is about. I mean, to join, to become a member, what sort of skills or attitude do you have to have? And
all we ask is that you are a good man, and you are a moral man, and that you believe in a supreme being. That is the key issue in the membership requirement. If you don't believe in a supreme being, be it a Christian God, be Allah, be a Hindu God, be the Jewish God, then your Masonic journey stops at that point. We believe in a supreme being that controls the world and controls your destiny. Freemasonry is not a religion. Yes, there is a religious element to it, but we are not a religion. Therefore, we welcome men of all religions, all nationalities, as long as they are good men and have a good record in life. And that's the same, I would imagine, for a golf club, for any other organisation. We ask nothing more than that. Basically, Freemason, we are now looking at about the room where we perform it. There are several key offices. If you were a Mason coming in through that door, you would meet a man with a sword. He's called the outer guard. But when Freemasonry was started in the 1700s, they would often meet in a pub or a public house or a hotel, and we would need to control the security about who comes in and who goes out. And it's just as basic and as simple as that. Freemasonry first came together as a unified organisation in 1717. And before then, it was tended to be more in Scotland, and it came into England from there. And then the second person you would meet would be what we call the inner guard, and he just simply opens a door and controls who's.
So would that be at this door?
Yeah, at this door we have an outer guard,
okay.
and then we have an inner guard.
Inner guard at this door.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So that's the first person that you would meet.
Okay.
We then have four key offices below the master. The first one will be over here, and he is called the junior deacon. He would have this pole. We call it a wand. You will see on the top the dove of peace. Wherever he walks, whatever he's doing, whatever he does, he carries this wand, and he always carries it with the bird flying.
Can I ask you this? How old is that wand? Is that the original one when the lodge was started, or is that?
I would imagine it is, but I don't know the answer to that question. But I would imagine these things tend to last for a long time. Okay. But the dove of peace, and part of the deacon's job is to maintain harmony within the lodge, help maintain harmony within the lodge, which is something that we pride ourselves, peace within the lodge.
This lodge, how old is this?
This lodge was started in 1792.
From here?
Actually, no, in Barnoldswick.
Okay, I know
but it was moved here, and we are a very rare Masonic being. We are a moon lodge. And people say, what do you mean a moon lodge? Well, we meet on a Monday closest to the full moon, and there's a reason for that. Right. Because in 1792, when they'd moved the lodge from Barnoldswick to here, there were no such things as streetlights. You needed the moon to see your way there and then see your way back. It was quite simple, but we still maintain that tradition of meeting here. Not every Freemason lodge does that, but we do. Right, if we go across now to the... We're now seeing the Masonic journey in the lodge started. The next position that a Mason would go to would be to the senior deacon, and you would see the same bird of peace there. But when we have ceremonies, these two brethren have roles within the ceremony. They look after the candidate through the ceremonies.
Is that identical?
Yes, it is identical. So, after 2 years, after a year in each, he moves up, and he becomes the lodge is controlled by the worshipful master and the senior and the junior warden. Now you'll notice this is the junior warden. And you'll notice the significance of this. This is a globe in daylight. And the daylight is because this man is responsible for anything that happens to the members of this lodge outside the lodge room. He ensures that the meals are ready, and that he ensures that technically that's what he's responsible for. And it's a preparation for the journey to the master's chair. Over here we have the senior warden's chair, and the senior warden has a globe with night. When that is raised, that means that he is in control of supporting the master.
These, are they specially made?
Yes. Oh yes. If you notice, there's a symbol. That's right. If you've heard the question, is his so and so on the level? Yeah. Is it well? That is a level. That is a Masonic say.
Right. Okay.
And see over there on the junior one, you'll see a plumb line on the bottom there.
Can I see it actually?
Yeah, down here.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, you can see his plumb line.
That's right. Yes.
And that's his symbol. Okay. And he's direct. He ensures that the morality of the members is maintained. So when we finish over there. You can also see the night symbol up there.
That's right, yeah.
And the day symbol up there.
All right.
Right, okay, so yeah. So that's basically...
So that's a night symbol.
Yeah, that's the moon and the stars.
So it lets one know who...
Yeah, what his job is.
That's right, yeah.
And you have to remember that when Freemasonry was first started, reading skills were probably very poor. So they would rely on symbols, and pictures, so that even the most ill-educated Mason would know who was who.
Again, John, can I ask you, are these symbols, are they very typical?
Oh yes.
In a lodge? Are they exactly the same?
No. Oh. Every lodge is different. Every lodge room is different. And one of the key things is we practice here what is called the York Rite, that all our ceremonies are conducted to a certain format, which we learn off by heart. That was formed many years ago. In London, it's the same ceremony but different, and it's maybe a different rite. And every lodge in the country will have differences that reflect their local need.
So would that be a ritual or something?
Yes.
Could you give an example of a simple one? Or?
No, it's very difficult for me to do that because...
by explaining,
it's basically, we would say... we would say, I'm trying to think of something that's typical. the way a certain question was asked.
Okay.
It will be asked here in one way.
Okay.
The same question will be asked with slightly different words up at 𝐓𝐡𝐞.
Right. Okay.
And because they didn't move between and ritual was transported by memory.
Okay.
So people's memories slightly change as you move along. And it's all part of the benefit of being a member. You get to learn all that, and it's not a secret.
Are there many rituals though?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Everything we do, we are the basis of Freemasonry is based on the old story of King Solomon's temple, and it's how it was discovered after it being knocked down. It's all based on that, and other offshoots of Freemasonry is not one thing. There's lots and lots of different side orders that come off it, and there's a Christian order, there's a Muslim order, there's all kinds of different orders, and they will all have their own ritual, and it's a storytelling. It's every ceremony is a story, and it illustrates to the people in the story why such things as honour, truth. Our motto, for a Mason is, what is a Mason? It's brotherly love, relief, and truth. So brotherly love, you get on with your fellows. Relief, we have our own charity, and we make sure that charity goes into the community. And truth is extremely important to us as Masons and as men. So those are the three principles on which you will hear those key words in every ceremony, in every lodge throughout the land. Brotherly love, relief, and truth.
That's great.
And we all buy into that. And if you, we'll go on to that later. But So the key office, okay, the key office is the worshipful master. This is something you aspire to be. When you come in, you are admitted as an entered apprentice Freemason, and that's built on the same system as the old guild companies that used to have an apprentice, a journeyman, and a master. So it's built. So you come in as an entered apprentice, and that is you learn certain things, and then you are admitted as a fellowcraft, which is like the journeyman, and then you become a master mason. First degree, second degree, third degree. So if you hear someone giving you the third degree, that is that the third degree is when you become a master mason. At that point, you're admitted to 90% of the order's ceremonies. Others, because you go your seniority, you see more of that. But master, so if we're talking about a mason addressing a mason, we say Brother John Huxley. When I'm up to a master mason, I'm a Brother John Huxley. The moment I sit in that chair, I become worshipful Brother John Huxley, because that is the office. And I carry that title with me today. I am worshipful Brother John Huxley. Okay. And so we sit in that. Now that we label that as the chair of King Solomon, because it's based on the wisdom of King Solomon and his temple. And the wisdom is the key element, more than the history, the wisdom.
Do you mind if I take a detailed shot of the...
Carry on.
I also noticed there's a symbol.
Yes, that's the star. The star is the master.
You mean in that frame there?
No, that's
above
it in there.
So yeah, so that depicts who
the master sits there. Yeah. The master symbol.
And also the
square,
symbol,
the square and the compass. That is.
Can we
Yes, that dictates. Yeah. That dictates. We as Masons, a square. It's a set square. It's a square. It's a right angle. It's a consistent. It's straight. Okay. We are straight. We are true. Okay. A compasses divides and measures where you are. It keeps you in due bounds. Right. It keeps you know what the limits are. Okay. The law is very important to us, and that it tells you it's like the social law, the legal law, and it keeps your behaviour within due bounds.
So it's very orderly, isn't it? And it's very structured, yes.
Absolutely.
Structured.
And that is yes, it is. We have a lot of fun doing it, and we enjoy it. It is a very enjoyable hobby, and that's what it is, a hobby, and you buy into that. We always say the key elements are, and we ask you to, when we're thinking about if you're a Freemason, the most important things in your life are your family, your job, and then Freemasonry. It's very important. That is important to us.
May I ask a question here? Obviously, the day of the internet, there's so much rubbish and misconceptions out there. For our viewers, could you explain what the symbol of the eye is, please?
Oh, the all-seeing eye.
Yeah, because there's so much. As you can imagine on the internet.
That represents the Supreme Being.
Supreme.
That represents the Supreme, because Allah's watching your behaviour. God's watching my behaviour, and he everything that happens is within His vision.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
So that keeps you. You can't escape the Supreme Being. So that's why we recognise it, and it's an important thing to us that you can't hide in corners and get away with things, because the all-seeing eye will always see you.
Yeah.
So it's accountability as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're spot on there. Accountability.
Can you emphasise about the female counterpart, because there's a lot of, again, misconceptions about women in Freemasonry, please.
Yes, it is. This is a fraternity, a fraternity of men, and that's how it's constructed, and that's how it's developed. The women have got their own system, and they operate in the same, and it has the same ethical standards, the same ceremonies, and the same beliefs, and they have the same. They're totally independent, but they are recognised by the Grand Lodge of England as being Masonic.
You said that membership is open to everybody. Do you have a Muslim member or any other?
It's funny you should say that. We are about in Haworth to have our first Muslim member, and we are so proud of that, because it is a step forward for us in Haworth, and reflects community as it is growing around us now. And if it was in the normal sense of it, when it comes in, everybody has to give us a oath of allegiance, things like that. We would do it. I would do it on this Bible here, because I'm a Christian. If you're a Muslim, you would do it on the Quran.
All right.
And we would make. I know men who've been to lodges where on the dais there's a Christian Bible, a Muslim Quran, and a Jewish Torah, to make ourselves available to all communities. So we're not just saying to ourselves, we're going to get a couple of Muslims. No, we want to attract more members from all communities.
That's good.
We are very, very keen on that. This piece of equipment is called a tracing board, and it just demonstrates about which part of the ceremony we're actually operating at the time.
So will this open? I mean,
yes. Part of the ceremony is when we're not what we call working. It's closed. When we're open, when it's like that, it shows what we call working.
And there's
that's the sun.
North, south, east, west.
Sun, the night. And it's a staircase, which illustrates lots of things to Masons, but basically this is God.
Right.
The Supreme Being.
And the north, south, east, west. What is
that just represents this. This is the east. This is the east. In every lodge, the worship master's chair will be in the east.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, it's interesting. Yeah, the senior warden will be in the west. The junior warden will be in the south.
Because when Muslims pray, they face the east. Yeah, that's interesting.
In most Christian
churches
and abbeys and cathedrals, you will find the altar in the east. Yes, these two stones, one over there.
There's one there.
Are called ashlars.
Ashlars.
A-S-H-L-A-R. This is a rough ashlar, and this represents man in his unfinished state, his ignorant state. So when he's been through his Masonic life, he becomes a smooth ashlar.
All right.
He understands more. It represents your journey through life.
Are these specially cut or?
Yes.
Right.
Special stone or?
Not as far as I'm aware. There could be concrete for all I know, but they're just symbolic.
Symbolic.
They're very symbolic. A rough ashlar to a smooth ashlar represents the man as he learns more about himself and about the world.
Right.
So that's
It's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting.
So that's that's
so
a
we'll
rough.
just move on.
Sure.
So what happens here? What you usually you'll notice some benches are higher than others. At that end of the lodge, the junior brethren, the people who the master masons and the fellow crafts and the entered apprentices will tend to sit down there. The more senior you go in, you move up, and those guys up there are usually what we call grandmasters or provincial grandmasters. And basically, they are time-served, experienced men who have been in what we call the craft for many years, and they are elevated to the next level.
I never realised that there's different.
Now you'll notice. You also notice here the checkered. The checkered, the black and white checkered. Well, that's checkered. That has a great symbolic meaning for all of us. That represents life. You're walking through life. Some of it's good, white. Some of it's bad, black. Some of it's smooth, white. Some of it's very level, white. It keeps you aware that life is not smooth. Life will have its good moments and its bad moments. And you've got to face up to that, and your brothers in Masonry will help see you through.
Okay. And the sword at the side of the
sword
of the chair.
That's for seven. We are. If you imagine, that's for the outer guard.
Okay.
He carries that symbolically.
Okay.
And it's basically back in the 18th, 19th century, it's probably more practical, but now it's totally, utterly symbolic. What we call the chaplain. We read tracts of the Old Testament, not the New Testament, the Old Testament. And there's a good reason for that. That is because if you have men like you and me in, we both subscribe to the story of Abraham and things like that. And it doesn't say anything about Jesus. It doesn't say anything about Muhammad. It just refers to God and what you and I both believe in. And that I can't emphasise the respect that we have for each other's religion. You know that in the lodge we ask there isn't, and when we dine we ask there is no conversation about politics or religion, so that men can be friends and discuss things without falling out over those key issues. Because if anything's going to divide a society of men, it'd be those two subjects.
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't want to fall out with anybody. You know, I'm happy to sit down with anybody and have a meal with anybody. I'm happy if that person is. And we have vegetarians in the lodge. We have vegans in the lodge. We have people who don't drink alcohol in the lodge. We have people who have all kinds of different and there's a place at the table for everybody. And so, you know, I know several lodges in London where the fare at the lodge is halal.
Yeah, amazing.
Because that's a respect to somebody's belief.
See, so things like that we never knew. You know, it's going to be up here. It's going to be a bit of a. The Freemasons are going to have to make a bit of an effort to become more multicultural. This is what we call a pedestal. This is the Lodge Bible. It is the Old and the New Testament. So that because that's what we've been using. We haven't had it to. But if a Muslim came in, a Quran would be placed here.
How old is the Bible?
Oh,
Roughly
100 years old. 1962. It was given to us by a church. So Lord knows.
Yeah.
Lord knows how long it is, how old it is, but it
does look old.
It looks a bit old.
Yeah.
We like old things, you know. We treasure old things in our service. Interestingly, if you looked at the US dollar bill, you would find Masonic symbols on there.
And that was one of my questions. Yeah.
Now, that's because I think 7 of the 23 founding fathers in America were Masonic. And everything was. They used the Masonic system to establish the nation. So you see the all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
You'll see the but they practice the Scottish Rite. So that because that's where the migrants went.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I've noticed the carpet as well.
Oh yes,
So much detail. Look.
That is unique carpet. It's all kinds. It's all symbols. It's just some of it's just decoration, to be honest.
Yeah. Quite well lit, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. The colours. If you notice around, there's a lot of light blue.
That's right. Yeah, I was going to ask you about
yes, it's a very good question.
That's right. Yeah.
Now I am a time-served, lifelong fan of Manchester City. Their colours are the same colour as
Yes,
that's because in 1895, 5 Masons rescued them financially. The only condition to giving them money was that they would play in sky blue.
Wow.
What year was that? Sorry.
I think it's 1895.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
That's something for the football fans.
Yeah.
so I've been a Manchester City fan because since 1955, my grandfather, who was a Mason, taught me. I didn't know about the connection. I didn't even know much about its Masonic life. I've had to research it. We have a library down in London, the way you can research your family in Masonic connections.
That just shows you the modesty of a Freemasonry. You know, they give out, they don't boast about it, do they?
Well, for years that's how it is.
Yeah.
And even now, you'll find most Freemasons find it very difficult to talk about. And there are different types of Freemasonry once you're in. Once you're in, you can be invited to join different orders. Like that's the Bronte Lodge is a different order. It's marked Haworth Parish Church. Haworth Parish Church because Bronte was the priest that Patrick Bronte was the priest there.
Is that prior to it being rebuilt?
Yes.
I've never seen it. Do you have anything to do with any other organisations like the Rotary Club or Oddfellows or any other ones?
No, the answer is that. The strict answer is that we don't. We're not officially linked to anybody. However, I'm a Rotarian. I belong to Haworth and Worth Valley Rotary Club, and I'm a member here in Haworth. So yes, there are crossovers, and there are lodges which are specifically for members of Rotary.
So John is demonstrating, what is it called? Simply the apron?
An apron, and this is a collar.
Oh, the collar, yeah, right.
And this is what we call a jewel. It indicates the rank of the lodge. This is the senior warden. There, see?
Yeah.
It's the level. In the ceremony, I would also be wearing white gloves. Right. The reason I'm wearing white gloves is to symbolise innocence.
So there you go, 𝐓𝐻𝐿. That was an amazing experience. What do you think?
Yeah, fascinating, interesting. Learned a lot of information about them, and I hope it dispels a lot of misinformation about them.
What's the name of this road? Is it Mill Hay?
It's Mill Hay.
Mill Hay.
And it's by the side of 𝐬𝐵 Lane.
Right, we'll just go in the car park. This is their car park. And on this little banner here, they've got their website where you can contact them. So, read that out, 𝐓𝐻𝐿, www.
3graces408.com.
Yeah. And I really hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Until next time, peace out.